Welcome, Nikki, to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. Finally caught up, and after our big vacations and our holidays,
Yeah,
uh, you have a good holiday?
I did. We drove out to Texas to see our families and just did a little road trip. Super simple. Just stayed inside, chilled. You know,
Nice.
nothing crazy. A good
Now,
get.
are you from Texas too?
I am. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
about 45 minutes south of Dallas, kind of middle of
okay.
nowhere. So yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
nice.
seem to stop people from becoming rock stars. It's the middle of nowhere. Sometimes it encourages them to break
Oh,
free.
yeah, it makes you want to move out and do something. There was nowhere to play music when I lived there, so we had to drive up to Dallas or, about an hour away to play anything or to
Wow.
see it, really.
Did you So you started playing guitar? How old were you
I
when
was
you first started? Wow.
14. Yeah. So my parents were both into metal and rock, so I grew up on that. And
Nice.
my dad had bought me a guitar when I was younger because he played too. He was in a band when I was younger, but I didn't really pick it up until I was 14. So I had it kind of sitting there until I got over my, let me just say it, my Backstreet Boys phase.
There's
So
nothing wrong. There's no guilty music. I believe every type of music. I just saw the Bee Gees documentary. So good. I
yeah,
love
so
Pantera. You gotta love everything. There's no guilty music.
exactly. I kind of range, I've got a wide range, but yeah, so
Love everything. It's music. You know.
me too. So when
We're going back to the Backstreet Boys.
yeah, Backstreet Boys had kind of already went down. So when I first started really playing and getting into music, it was kind of the emo
Uh,
years
wow.
stuff on top of the older stuff. So it was Avenged Sevenfold was coming up with City of
Mhm.
Evil. I got into their Waking the Fallen album before that. So that really got me into, a lot of the lead guitar and the heavier stuff. So I was listening to Avenged Sevenfold, Atreyu, Papa Roach was one of my favorite bands. So their energy on stage was so much
Yep.
fun. So it was like the emo years and Bullet for My Valentine and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I had the
Wow.
black hair, the eyebrow piercing, and I was the total goth kid. So yeah.
Actually, yeah, I saw a picture of you with black hair online.
Mhm.
It looks good on you. It works. It works with your skin tone.
I sometimes think that, and then I'm like, whew, that was scary. I'm naturally
Oh.
just a light brown. So
Oh. No, I think because sometimes your skin color is weird. It doesn't match when you change your hair color. So
yeah,
it's amazing. So you actually went wow, Iron Maiden. So that's a quite a jump from going old school, huh?
yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to Maiden too, because like I said my dad was in a band and my parents both listened to it. So I would go jam with my dad and his band sometimes, and they'd be like, learn Flight of Icarus or learn this or learn Wasted Years or whatever. And I would kind of listen to whatever songs they had downloaded onto their computer
Yeah.
at the time. And I would just go through, it'd be like, Iron Maiden and AC/DC, Megadeth, whatever you could think of. So if you go back, I don't know if these videos are up anymore, but I had a couple of my early YouTube videos. You'd see a Killers poster on the wall behind me. And I think I even played 2 Minutes to Midnight or something. And so I know when I first played with the girls, with the Maidens, I remember they asked me if I even liked Maiden. I'm like, of course. That was a big influence on my guitar playing growing up. So luckily I got into a tribute band that I actually love and that I'd listened to since I was young.
Your dad must have cried a little bit, a little tear when you called him and said, "Dad, guess what?"
He drove. We didn't used to play Texas much, and the first time that I played Texas with the girls, it was in El Paso, which Texas is huge, and it was a 9-hour drive. But my dad drove from Dallas to El Paso to see our show there.
What a good dad.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun when they go to our shows.
That is really great. It's actually a really good band there too. You got a lot of good members in the band that are done a lot of different stuff.
Yeah,
Um, all of them. I mean,
Linda.
Linda, thank you. Was in Phantom Blue.
Uh-huh. Oh, she's a killer drummer.
He
She's
is
so much.
ridiculous. I
Yeah,
had the
she.
cassette of Phantom Blue when I was in high school. So no,
Oh, really?
towards the end, actually a little high school actually. Yeah, but yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
incredibly talented, and she's pretty much the one who helped kind of found the band. So
Yeah.
luckily
Now,
that.
how do you guys set that up? Like for shows before COVID and practice? Like, how do you guys decide a set list and stuff? How's that?
Linda actually decides the set list. So she kind of keeps, because there's a lot of cities that we play for the first time. So we'll kind of
Mhm.
play a great set. And for the return cities, like there's a couple cities where we've gone, a ton of times. She keeps track of every time that we go in every song we play. So she changes it up. We usually
That's
keep,
smart.
we'll keep like the big, huge hits, like, the Trooper years in for every show, but she'll go and she'll make sure we change it out. And we're constantly trying to learn new songs to make it interesting, keep people coming back.
How often were you guys out playing before this happened?
I'm sorry?
How often were you guys playing before this
Uh,
happened?
last year we had a lot of shows lined up, unfortunately, and they keep getting pushed off, but we got to where we were touring. I mean, it was at least almost every weekend. It seemed like as soon as we'd get home, there was no point in unpacking the suitcase because it'd just be like, all right, we're going back out this weekend. We got to where we would go to Europe once or twice a year for about a month at a time. We were going, last year. We're supposed to go in April, but I don't know if, with everything going on, how that's going to happen. But yeah, we got to where we were on the road a lot.
Well, the reason why I asked that, because it's just interesting, but like with Patrick, when I talk to him, I'm like the balancing of bands. When I ever talk to artists, they have like 5 different projects. I'm like, who calls who texts and everyone's in a different time zone. How's everyone figuring out? Because no one lives in the same state anymore. That's in the same band. People live like literally on the other countries now.
Yeah, that's luckily
so
for
coordinating.
Us. We all live in the LA area, but some of us are more scattered than others.
No, that's a little closer than most.
Yeah, but it's almost impossible to get us all together with, everybody's got their own things going on, but we leave that to the booking and then they get it all together.
How does that work out when you guys do anything with the other band that you guys are in together?
That's a bit of a challenge too, since Patrick
is in Lita, right?
He's always out on the road with Lita. So before all this happened, whenever we both had some time off, we'd try and make it happen in that weekend or, whatever time it was. So it's just, if we see something open, I'll tell my booking agent, okay, blacking this out. I never usually black out dates except for like super important family things or for other shows, but we try our best to make it happen.
Oh, it's a really good band. I mean, you have a really good problem on some level because Iron Maiden is a good band. Lita Ford is a good band. I mean, so those are 2 nice gigs right there. You want as a musician, those are just nice, sweet gigs. And then you have this band, but the band's really good, and you guys are all so talented. And then even when you guys do your little acoustic things, your little unplugged, so good.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to keep busy, I love doing original music. So it's a kind of a breath of fresh air. I love playing Maiden and everything, but I love doing the original stuff too. So, just keeps it, especially now since we can't go out and play shows, it's all about, kind of doing all the originals at the moment.
What are you guys doing now? What projects are you recording? Are you doing a bunch of different things?
Yeah, kind of. We're always doing a million different things. We're doing a couple of our little couch jams that we do, but we're doing original this time. So no covers for right now, but we have a million covers in mind that we do want to do. So we're going to do an original Heaven Below one and an original of mine. And we're trying to work on new music too. So just try and get some new tunes going for Heaven Below and myself. So yeah,
it could be hard because I like your original stuff, but man, you guys do some really great covers. Like the covers album, the double CD.
Yeah,
I really love that. And what I think the best part is when the songs end, they'll go into a different part of another song. Little nods to other versions of the songs in the other songs mixed in.
Yeah,
are really great. Are really kind of fun. Even the cover songs chosen, like the Motley Crue song, I'd never thought I'd hear a band cover that song.
Right. See, they had pretty much, Patrick had almost finished the album by the time I started getting involved with the band, but I the ones I played on, were I just started singing on a lot of them. So I think the second album is stuff that was all previously released a lot, throughout the band's whole career.
Hmm.
So I know I've gone back and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Listening to everything. I'm like, I didn't even know, you covered it. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Listen to the first one and the second one, but then go do that. Rest of the albums are really good too. What about solo stuff for you? What do you got out there?
well, I've got my EP right now, and I've got a little bonus disc to that. Um, with my stuff, I have something coming up later this week that I just found out that I can't say right now.
Okay.
Um, but I'm just working on new stuff still, trying to get a full length going. When, I'm home, so I can finally do. It was difficult getting my EP done because I'd been saying I was going to do it for forever. So, and I had never tried singing before, and I didn't.
What?
I never. No, Patrick really helped me with the singing and bringing that out, and it was something I always wanted to do. But I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. If it doesn't work, if
You
people don't like
sing like you've been singing for years. Like you really like have a really good voice. I'm actually gobstocked. I can't believe that because I'm like,
it's me and my family would always do karaoke at home. Lots of karaoke and singing, with my guitar when I was younger. But I finally was like, you know what? I have a passion for singing. I love to write. So when I got my EP finally going, um, it was hard to get it all done because, like you said, between doing the Heaven Below stuff and
hmm.
doing the Maiden and the Lita stuff, and Patrick helped produce my vocals and everything on that. It was, it took a while to finally get that going, but it was totally worth it. So,
You have to do a long, yeah, you gotta do an album out. This is the time too. I think
no,
finally women in rock. And I was saying that to, Patrick, there's so few out there. I mean, now it's changing a little bit, but
yeah,
back it was like Lita and Doro. There's a few other bands. Like, I'm not trying to leave anybody out, but the point is the market was just all dudes.
yeah,
Finally changed, and now things are starting to change a little bit, and the media is different, and the internet's totally different. A lot more female guitarists are out there. A lot of
for
albums
sure.
dropping, getting success. It's not
Yeah.
just having. It's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's
Right.
a
There's a ton of female guitar players, really great ones
yeah.
now. I had started when I first started playing guitar, YouTube was kind of just getting going. And so I had started uploading my stuff onto YouTube when it was first kind of going. And my stuff would, and I was what, 17, 18. It was just playing along in my bedroom, but my stuff would get crazy views. YouTube's changed so much now, but I think I was probably one of the early people on there playing. And that's kind of how I got my start, was that. And now, there's a million great female musicians on there. Like
It
every
is.
time on social media I discover somebody new that's great.
I
So
can't believe
it's
the amount of metal bands that are out here right now. And then female fronted bands, just all female bands. Like there's, it's
yeah.
like it's really good actually.
I was listening to on Spotify, I'm trying to get into more new music, and I turned on, I think it's, what is it called? There's a station on Spotify called, I think, Heavy Queens or something. And I'm like, God, there's so many female fronted bands that I haven't heard of. So it's cool. It makes it easy to discover a lot of people now.
Yeah, it is. It's
All
it's,
these,
it's really good.
yeah.
Yeah, you need to get your album out. You need to now get the time to get the studio. You can record. There's no excuses.
Exactly. I keep telling myself there is no excuses right now. I'm stuck at home, can't go out on the road. We're both here. Everybody's stuck. So I'm like, okay, I got to get this going. There's no excuses.
There's no reason. This is the
Yeah.
time because this is
I
it. You also have the honor of you the first female to have a guitar made from Schecter, or what?
I
I'm probably
think
saying it
I
wrong.
am. I know Sean, I always get her last name wrong. Isolt from White
Yeah.
Zombie.
Yep.
I think the first bass signature model, but I'm pretty sure I'm the first to have the first guitar
That's
female,
pretty cool.
think anyway. wrong, but I
How'd that
think
come
so.
about? How'd you get, how'd the endorsement come out? I mean,
Um, as I was saying with YouTube stuff, I was just on before I moved out here in 2012, moved out to LA and I didn't know anybody. And I just got a message from like the Schecter Facebook page or whatever. One day I noticed that they used one of my pictures. I was probably 18 or something. And I was so crazy ecstatic beyond belief. Schecter shared my picture. I've been playing Schecter since I was 14. And I've always played them. So I met them at NAM. They told me to come by and meet them. And I knew nobody. I was at NAM by myself. I was 21 at the time. And so I just went there every day and I hung out with them and got to know everybody that kind of works there. And they kind of took me in and they told me to come by the last day. And the president, Michael, sent me home with 2 guitars. He's like, you choose which one you want. And, so they kind of took me in. They gave me a job. I had finished my college internship at the time. Or no, I was still interning and was finishing college and I was doing a million things. And so they gave me my first job and helped me stay out in LA. And they've been like a
wow.
fan since. They're amazing people.
I've
So
actually never played one of their guitars, but I've been listening to you. I'm like, man, I gotta pick one up. I gotta. You really have just made it look really good.
thank you. Yeah, I've been in love with their stuff for forever. So it was a dream come true to finally get when they asked me, I think it's time to make a signature guitar. I was like, what? Are you me really? So it was a dream come true. Totally. I still have to pinch myself.
What's the process for that when they to do
Um,
that?
well, before I had my signature model, I was with my old band Before the Morning, and we were out on tour in support of In This Moment. And I remember I got an email saying like, let's design you a guitar, not a signature model, but just let's design you a guitar. It's like, sweet, okay. So it's kind of like my signature model, but it's green and it's got different pickups, and so they know what I love. Like I love the slim necks and everything. So that was kind of the precursor to my signature model, I guess. And I think it was kind of a one-off, and people would always ask, where can I get that guitar? I love your guitar. So I think they saw that, and so they, then they were like, all right, let's make you a signature model. We'll put it into production. So it was just it was really hard for me to decide the color and I was going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know what to do because I wanted it to be, something I love, but I also wanted it to be something that other people could love as well. Like, I see a lot of
Right,
guitar put something out and it's something that nobody would ever want to play.
right.
So yeah, I already had a good idea. I already had a bass kind of guitar that I, you know, generally based everything off of. But this is basically I'm looking at my signature model right now. I'm trying to think. It's basically a hybrid of 2 of their
Can you hold
guitars.
up? Can you actually hold up?
Oh yeah, this is the new one.
For people that don't know, I know what it looks like.
This is the
But
newest one. So
that, huh?
my last one was red. And I was like, man, it's beautiful, but it doesn't really shine. The color in person was beautiful, but in photos, it didn't come across as well. So this one really photographs well. I love,
Yeah.
hello.
What is the inlay on that? What is that?
It
Flowers?
is
And a
skull on
skull? Oh,
12
that's
fret.
nice. Oh, I like
Yeah, like
that.
and
Okay, and the colored inlays too, huh? Not just
yeah, or
yeah.
abalone and mother of pearl on the skull. The
That's
previous
nice.
skull, it was way more out of control with these vines. A lot of people be like, I don't know where to put my fingers. So we simplified it for this one. And it's got the carbon fiber binding and it's got glow in the dark inlays or the inlay dots.
Oh, really?
It's got the Staniac system in it too. So, and it's a lot lighter. This one I told him, man, I kind of have small shoulders and this guitar is pretty big. So I told him, man, can we make it a little lighter this time? Because by the time we're done, I'm walking off stage like this. So yeah.
What
So
is the body made out of?
I believe this one is swamp ash. So this one's swamp ash. This one's a lot lighter than my previous one. So
That is a nice looking guitar, and it sounds good.
a little blingy, but I wanted it to be pretty and girly,
Well,
but not too girly because I'm kind of a tomboy.
well, I want to thank you for being on the show today, Nikki. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you so much. It's been a blast. And there goes.